I just want to take a time out for today's sponsor. A lot of passive investors I partner with have one major challenge. They are busy professionals that love to create memories with their families, but are too busy to actively look and find value-add real estate that cash flows. Hey guys, I'm John Fortes, and I want to partner with you. If you are interested in creating passive streams of income, wealth creation, and all the tax benefits that come along with passive investing in real estate syndications, I encourage you to fill out the form at johnfortes.com/workwithjohn. Invest today so that tomorrow you have more time to pursue the things you truly love. Once again, that's johnfortes.com/workwithjohn. I can't wait to partner with you.
Hey everyone, this is Jamie Gruber, and you are listening to the Passive Investor Show.
Are you a busy professional looking to diversify your portfolio? Ever wanted to passively invest in real estate but don't know where to start? John Fortes provides you with a guide to passively invest in real estate. This is the Passive Investor Show.
And now, the Passive Investor Show. Here's your host, John Fortes.
Hello, PI listeners. Thank you for lending me your time today. Welcome to the Passive Investor Show. I'm John Fortes. Our goal is to provide you, the busy professional, with passive investing tips and tricks for your real estate investments to leverage more time for you to focus on your true passions. Let's get to work. Hello, everyone. Today we got Jamie Gruber, and I usually read the bio, but we're going to try things a little bit different. We're going to go the TLDR. If anybody knows what that is, it's too long, didn't read. Jamie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. So glad to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Man, it's a pleasure. It's an honor, my friend, to have you. So,
same here.
Give me the TLDR about you.
Sure. Let's see. So I'll go this way. I'm a native New Yorker by way of Boston, now living in Michigan. My professional experience is mostly in the insurance claims world. And I've, in the last few years, have, learned about and driven myself toward real estate investing with a heavy focus on multifamily. That's where my investing path is taking me. I'm a dad, 2 little boys, 4 and 1 years old, as we record this in 2019. Married to a beautiful woman who I met in Boston, and we're living well with this stuff, man. We're just doing what we do, I guess.
That's awesome. And I know you're a part of a number of groups and a number of groups that help with mindset and your why and lining up everything. So I want to jump into that. But before that, how and why real estate?
So it's funny. I owned property accidentally, from 2005. I bought a property in upstate New York, and I bought that property to live in it and then moved with my job to Boston. So when I did that, I had read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I don't know, around that time. And it was like, okay, I was 20 something. Like, okay, that makes sense. I get it. Right. But bought this property, ended up moving, couldn't sell it, had to rent it out. And for years, it was like this burden, right? Like I just wanted to be rid of that property. I was renting it out. I was making money on it, but it just felt like I don't want to be the landlord. I don't want to do tenants and toilets. I don't want to get 2 a.m. calls, which never happened, by the way. And as I'm in Boston, years later, I'm in my mid-30s now, I reread Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I go, okay, I just wasted 12 years. Like I read it at 25 and now I'm reading it at 35 or 37, whatever it was. It's like, man, now I get it, right? Age and wisdom kind of get me there. So, instantly I converted myself mentally and financially on that property that I owned to be an asset. And we started to acquire more, a couple duplexes. Eventually we acquired a multifamily up here in Michigan, and we keep looking for more. But, there's a few reasons. One is, I think I just don't know of a better vehicle to build wealth. I don't know of one. When you think of all the things that it covers, just not just cash flow, but the tax advantages are unbelievable if you know what you're doing with this stuff. The appreciation, the equity pay down, or the debt pay down. There's just not a better financial vehicle for you to put your money in my opinion. So that's one. The other part is, I'm probably a product of like the HGTV generation. Like real estate's just cool to me. I don't know. It's neat, to see what was, and we lived in a flip in Massachusetts for a couple of years. We bought it for estate sale and ended up flipping it, and to watch that property transform to a modern, beautiful property. Yes, we had a financial benefit from that, but it was just nice to bring that property back. And as we've restored property that we purchased along the way, I don't know, it's been a lot of fun. So I guess I get something out of it, just sort of intrinsically or internally. And yeah, financially, I just don't know of a better vehicle.
That is pretty cool, and kind of basically the same reason why I jumped into it.
Right.
But I'm like you, right? So really late jumped into it.
Yeah.
The mindset wasn't there young, and probably because I didn't have someone to show me, tell me, teach me, unless I self-educated myself, just like you did, right? So
yeah, it's true that like we both jumped into Wheelbarrow Profits at the same time, right? It's a community we belong to, and while multifamily is the focus, there's this undercurrent of mindset, and I feel like in the investing world, like if you ask an investor, any investor, hey, or put a post out, try this. If you're in any investor group, put a post saying, hey, what books are you reading? And you will be flooded with comments, because investors read, they listen to podcasts, they work on themselves. It's just, they're part and parcel with one another, right? If you're an investor, you're focused on mindset. So yeah, I completely agree. It's absolutely solid. So
we got a special guest. That's pretty cool.
I guess we do, buddy.
That's pretty cool
right now. I'm sorry, John.
No worries.
I should go with mommy real quick. Okay. Thanks, buddy.
He had to bring you that snack. That's pretty cool, man. I'm probably keeping that for the show. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess.
No, but
little Sebastian.
That's awesome. But going back to mindset, I have a monthly book club that I post in the community, and it does get flooded with books, and there's people that listen to audiobooks or read, and we're constantly turning ourselves over, trying to find our weakness and repair that and better our situations, opportunities, whatever it is, just growing off that. But how do you structure your day? I know you do it pretty uniquely. You actually dropped a video because you're part of Multifamily and More. I wish you kind of told us about that on your bio, because
I'm sorry.
No worries. Let me just break down basically what Jamie does. Jamie has one of the best meetups you can come across in probably like 4 or 5 different states now. He's putting them together with Benoit, your partner, and you guys are just killing it. Florida, Michigan, California, Tennessee. Those are the ones I can think of off the cuff right now. And I know you guys are just building more with that Multifamily and More. And tell me, basically getting back about your mindset and why did you create those meetups?
Yeah. So you made a point about working on your weaknesses, and I've always been that guy. And to be honest with you, I feel like in my kind of personal development arc, I've learned more to give up on my weaknesses and just lean into my strengths or my gifts. And I've done a lot of personal work to learn what those are and really just sort of be okay with it and understand that, what seems like, like a non-valuable thing, whether it's the ability to kind of have a conversation or, networking or whatever it may be, what seems like a non-valuable thing is only that to people who don't have it. Like whatever your gift is, it's just so easy and you have no sense that there's any value in that, right? Like, so if you can scratch out numbers and pull up an Excel spreadsheet and just do an amazing job of putting something together and calculating out stuff, to me, that blows my mind. Like, to watch somebody do that, that's a gift of yours, not the Excel part, but just that your mind works in a way that allows you to kind of break things into chunks. I can't do that. Not that I can't. I don't. It takes a lot of energy for me to do that. So for me, I've learned to lean into my strengths, right? When I got into multifamily and when I got into real estate in general, my strength, and it's I think a piece of what investors need to do. My strength is around community and building that and networking and bringing people together. And I enjoy it. I truly do. And I'm pretty effective with it. And, I say that fairly confidently, meaning, I created this group in Michigan, got about 1,000 members now in Michigan, very active community. You pop in there and you'll see 20, 30 comments and 80, 90 likes on posts and that sort of thing in our Facebook group. We've expanded that to different areas. We've done a mixer in Boston. We're doing one in Detroit. And I've got a way of attracting people that help each other, right, get to wherever they want to get to. And that's what the brand was built for. The Meetup was built for. To be honest with you, when I first started the Meetup, the reason was I hated every other damn Meetup I went to. So there was one locally, two locally, where, like one of them, the guy that ran it essentially was running it to make money. That was it. There was really no value being added other than I got a Meetup and I'm going to charge this fee, and then I do a mastermind, it's this much or whatever. And again, I'm all for all of that stuff. I think you got to pay to play sometimes, but the intent behind it, the why of their Meetup was to make money. And that just bugged me. And another one, the guy that ran it was like having people sign listing agreements with him. He was an agent essentially, and he just wanted to get a bunch of buyers from his Meetup. That was his whole reason for it. So I hated those. It was like going to a sales pitch for a couple of hours, and I didn't like it. So I knew I wanted to focus on multifamily, because that's another thing. General Meetups usually don't have multifamily investors there. They're flippers and wholesalers and newbies and all that stuff, which is fine. I knew I wanted something multifamily. I wasn't sure, because there were no multifamily meetups in my area. I wasn't sure if multifamily meetups had been tried and just didn't work, or if just nobody had done it. So to allow it not to fail in the first 2 months, I called it multifamily and more, just so we could talk about other things if we needed to, kind of protecting against multifamily failing miserably. And the idea behind it was to bring value to the community through whatever my gift is in this case, which is networking, community, bringing people together. And we've been fortunate to build that brand out to multiple states, and we're working on just sort of making it a larger and larger community of people. And it gives me great joy to see people literally connect in this group, go to lunch, do whatever that they wouldn't have done had they not had this group, and do deals together and move toward that financial and lifestyle goal that they're all trying to get to, which is what the group was formed for.
And I love it, because a lot of people don't realize or know where to go when they want to get involved in multifamily. Yeah. And what I mean by multifamily is big apartment complex multifamilies, and that's our space. And anybody can go and buy 3, 4 family. But when it starts to get to that 10, 15, 20 and up, you want to partner with other people to help you be able to scale and get more and more and more. The goal is to buy, repurpose, refi if you can, and then scale and get more. And the community you created really, really helps investors. And I love the fact that you're branding it around multifamily and more, because it's people can now find it, go and be like, oh, Jamie Benoit, I know them, they're great. Yeah. Let's go to their community. Let's learn more about this and partner. And that's truly a way where passive investors can find basically people like you, operators, and people like me that just put these deals together and allow us to grow together. So tell me how you found some, what you do, not found, but just basically what you do provides and helps passive investors.
So, well, one, the meetups themselves allow people to come together and so my take on it, like, there's the whole 506B, 506C, right? And for those that may not be tuned into it, the idea is, do you have a fund where you can take money from kind of everybody, or do you take money from only people that have that $1 million+ net worth, right? A lot of people want to take from the $1 million+ net worth, but most of us don't know just those people. So I think investors invest with you most of the time when they know, like, and trust you, period. So our fund is set up to be a 506B. And I think I'm getting a little off track, but bringing people together into this community that we've created allows for investors, be they sophisticated or accredited or whatever the case may be, to get to know people who are buying property that they can get to know, like, and trust, and eventually put their money with them, right? So that's one area where I think we help passive investors, is the passive investor can find people doing deals that they can meet and get to know, and just, put a face and press the flesh a little bit with those folks so they know, like, and trust them and put their money with them. The second way I think we do this is through how we structure our syndication. So Benoit, like you mentioned, is my business partner. He and I we we are buy and hold investors, right? That's what we consider ourselves. And I know you can consider yourself that if you hold 5 to 7 years like a traditional syndication, but we really want to hold long term. And we want any passive investors that we bring in with us, anybody that gives or provides capital to us to invest for them, to have that same benefit of long-term investment. So while your traditional syndication would be something like, hey, you put in, X number of dollars, you're going to get a 10% monthly return with an 8% preferred return. You have your money back in 5 to 7 years, and you're going to get 70% of the deal. And then once we dispose of the asset, sell it, you get 70% of that upside, and it's gone, right? It's completely out. Our model is to purchase. We have to purchase probably B, C class property that has tremendous upside, so almost at wholesale price, and then quickly reposition that asset so that we take investor capital. We return a preferred rate, almost like an interest rate. So there's no equity given to the investor up front, where they give us the capital to invest for them. We give them an 8 to 10% return on that capital, almost as interest, for about 2 years. And at 2 years, we return all of their capital. We refinance the asset at that point, and we give them 10%, let's say, of the asset in perpetuity. So the return is almost infinite because you're getting your money out in 2 years, and you're maintaining a small portion of each and every one of these assets forever. So you're for no money in, you're still getting a return. And if we execute that effectively, you can every other year turn your money back in and get another 10% of another slice of a property. So I think those are two ways that we really work to benefit passive investors.
That's pretty cool. I love that structure, and like you said, it has to meet the high upside, C to B type levels. And I love it. I mean, we've talked about that before as well. So
yeah, it's interesting. And you can, like we talked about, you can maneuver that a little bit. Like, yeah, you may have a property that you're seeing high upside on, but 2 years is aggressive. Maybe it's a 3-year hold, right? Or a 4-year, still shorter than that 5 to 7, but just a little bit more time. So again, we can be flexible with that if we find the right asset, especially in this market. It's hard to find those heavy upside where you can turn them in 2 years kind of assets. But yeah, that's the goal.
And yeah, I have one question, and it's regards, what if it's a heavy lift where maybe the investors might not see anything for 1 year until you stabilize it? Are they okay with the deferred interest going down the line, basically?
Yeah, so I hope so. And what I mean by that is we've given the investor commitments, those who have committed capital, at least verbally to us, the outline of the deal, and we've given all brands of that. Could be monthly, could be quarterly, could not start till the 6-month mark, could be completely deferred. Yep. Right. So, and they're like, okay, makes sense. I think the broad strokes is what they like. I get a specific return. I get my money back in 2 years, and I get to keep a percentage of the property for forever. Like, those are the big things. The nuances of each property, like if it's a real huge, big, value add play where we need to just pour everything into it and we can't distribute returns, for the whole term of the hold maybe, or for the first year of the hold, we'll just want to be very, very transparent with any investor that goes in on that deal, that this is what it is, and make sure they're good with it.
That's pretty cool. I love that. I love that model, and I love the fact that you guys are really upfront with the investors, and you have to be, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, you go back to know, like, and trust. But I wanted to just clear something up when you mentioned the 506B. It's the investors have to have a relationship with the sponsor. They cannot invest in a 506B if you do not know who the sponsor is. You don't have any relations with them.
That's right.
You have to have some sort of a relationship built prior to them knowing or having an opportunity. So if they had an opportunity, if Jamie had an opportunity today and I met him, I could not invest in his deal. Now, a couple weeks down the road, after we've already established a relationship, a month or so, a couple months later, Jamie brings a deal, I can now invest with him. I just want to clear that up with the 506B.
No, it's a great point. And again, that's what the value of the meetup there, right? If you have a non-accredited investor coming in to somebody who's buying a property with a 506B fund, that's the entry point of, okay, now I know you, like, at least I see you, we've met, now let's get to know each other so that you could potentially form an investor relationship at that point. It's a great clarifying point, John.
Yeah. And only 35 members can be non-accredited in a
That's right.
506B.
Look
Just
at
want
you,
to
man.
clarify.
You're like a savant with this stuff.
I just love the syndication model, man. It's just what I focus on and what I really study. And you do too, man. So stop it.
No,
You know,
I know.
a lot of this. Stop it.
But I'm no Fortes. You know, we call it that. In the industry, we call, well, are you Fortes on this? Which means, are you an expert? Are you Fortes or no? No, non-Fortes, get Fortes. And
now I got to cut that out, man. I'm definitely cutting that.
Don't do it.
So, Jamie, man, where can we find you at the end of the day? Where can we find you or what you guys do? And how do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, there's a lot of places, man. Multifamily and More is our brand. You can do at Multifamily and More, Instagram at Facebook.com/multifamily and more, YouTube.com/multifamily and more. So we're on all the social sites. You can email me directly, jamie@cfassetgroup.com, cashflowassetgroup.com. Be happy to chat with anybody with any questions. But mostly, if you find us on Facebook at, again, Facebook.com/multifamily and more. YouTube's our big, we're really putting a lot of energy into YouTube and the content we create there for folks. Again, another way I think we help passive investors. So youtube.com/multifamily and more. We're trying to build our subscriber base there. So we'd love for you to check it out and subscribe for us.
And if you guys haven't watched any one of his shows, he's had some heavy hitters come by his show. You gotta tune into his show. I recommend it.
Can I list them quick? Just because it's
go ahead,
kind of
list
sexy.
them.
So we had Gino Barbaro. I've had Joe Fairless. I've got Vinny Chopra coming up. Rod Cleef, Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets. Jay Scott. Jay Scott's interview was. I mean, they were all great. Jay Scott's was incredible. We even had an Airbnb guy local to you come on, and he. I thought
is that Mike?
Mike, yeah.
Yeah, he was
Mike
awesome.
Sugar. He was amazing. He may not be the name of those guys, but like that's why, again, I love calling it multifamily and more, because we can bring in stuff like that that's not quite multifamily. It's, mindset related or Airbnb or crypto. We're going to do some stuff on crypto. But yeah, we've had some big names on for sure. And the more subscribers we get, the more value of content we can send out there. So I appreciate the plug on that.
Nah, Jamie, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for your time. And do you want to leave our listeners with one thing?
One thing. Be you, do you, lean into your strengths. I'm a big proponent of that. Don't worry about what you're not great at. Put it down, let it go. Lean into your strengths, lean into who you are.
And one more thing. What groups are you a part of? Because I know I mentioned that earlier. What groups are you a part of?
Masterminds?
Yes.
So we had Wheelbarrow Profits. We talked about, I'm in the M1 community. You can check that out at gom1.com. I'm a member of GoBundance, which the tagline is, it's a tribe of healthy, wealthy, generous men who choose to live epic lives. And you asked a question before about like daily structure and all that stuff without getting into the specifics, but these masterminds really help you understand and get around those 5 people. What do they say? Your net worth equals your network. You're the product of the 5 people you hang out with. Well, you jump in and hang out with 5 high level people all the time, and it forces you up. So the routines, the habits, the rituals that I have now are a byproduct of being around some really, really great people in these masterminds.
Man, thank you for sharing that. And we've talked extensively about GoBundance and literally because we've met in the Wheelbarrow Profits community. It's just, I see the uplifting of each other because we came in together, and I tell people, when you go into a community or mastermind, be cautious and curious about who you go in with, because as they rise, you rise.
It's so true, dude. We've seen that with you and me and Ben and Matt and all these guys, right? Like people who have, like you look, you have a mic surround thing. What is that? What's that called again?
The mic flag.
Mic flag. You got a mic flag with your face on it, beautifully done. Like this wasn't you at the beginning. You built a brand of yourself along with doing deals and adding value. And if people don't know enough about you, you talk about GoBundance. Like abundance mindset is the epitome of what you are. Like everything you do. And we talked about why for a second, but my why, just to get it out there, my why is I want to leave a legacy for my kids. I want I want to be able to spend time with my family and all of that stuff. I mean, that's a little bit broad, but you, man, the way you show up and the things that you think about as far as why you do what you do, they're inspiring because you think from a place of abundance. You think from a place of, I can help anybody else get to where they want to go and it's not going to hurt me. And that's unfortunately not always the way people think. So, yeah, I've watched you, I've observed you, and I'm a better man for knowing you. You're one of those guys, 5 in the community that make you, that level you up. You're one of those guys. So
I'm embarrassed right now. I think I'm cutting that out. No, I appreciate you.
cut out the
Thank you
good
for
stuff. What's the matter with you?
Thank you for the kind words, Jamie. Thank you. And we were supposed to end this like 5 minutes ago, but like we always do, we can never end the conversation.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on, man. And we know where to find you. We're gonna list them in the show notes, and there it is.
I appreciate
Jamie
it, man.
Gruber.
Thanks for everything.
Nah, no worries, man. PI listeners, I'm grateful for your time and I appreciate you for listening. For more information, go to passiveinvestorshow.com. If any of this resonates with you, please subscribe and leave a review. The more you know, the more we grow. Thank you for tuning in. Till next time.